Greetings, everyone, from the God Apart from Religion Revolution channel. This is video number 11 for building a healthy body. In this section, we will be talking about replacing the lip service of the fallen church. So let's begin. Ending lip service. See John 15:4-5. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, neither can you, except you abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same shall bring forth much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. It is with this verse that we can theoretically at least put an end to much of the confusion and hypocrisy over belief and what it is. If you are almost exclusively listening to his spirits and obeying, you are his. You are a believer. On the other hand, if you by way of preference are wrangling over your public persona with a focus on your outward accomplishments, beliefs, ideas, judgments, particularly in a public forum like a church building, you are not his. You are socially focused and worldly. Jesus exclusively deals with his true followers one-on-one in secret, without the need or want of a show or showing us, or the need for outside interference from the myriads of presumptuous pastors and theologians who have ordained themselves. It's like elected themselves to the club of those who know most about God, rather than accepting the knowledge of regular people, quote unquote. We here and now are attempting to keep the innocent baby Jesus quietly in our own hearts, in his fullness, in his purity, in complete equality for each believer, while throwing out the overused, muddied up bathwater, which is created in the modern church's worldly presentations and theoretical decisions and falsehoods, i.e. outward personal boasting or campaigning, are entirely different spirits than those we seek. Therefore, belief is the conscious act of allowing Jesus' Spirit to dwell exclusively within your heart. And further, it is listening and obeying to those particular spirit on a constant and continual basis. It is an initial de-emphasis in outward associations and accomplishments. Only those with some real do-no-harm maturity should seek to gather together and to share. And it is sharing. It's not overpowering. Gathering and sharing with others needs to be seen as a privilege, a polite privilege, and a rite of passage, not an automatic thing. We must decide, with the help of the Spirit, when we are ready to share, not to overpower. And decide when we are actually ready to do no harm. And importantly, sharing must always be limited by our respect for the Spirit and respect for our fellow believers. The Spirit who works to illuminate the words and deeds of 100% equal fellow sojourners. let us take a closer look at the fruits of true discipleship versus the worldly fruits of earthly self-declared leaders. The constant, they may have a college or something they go to or whatever, right? And then the college gives them the authority to then put out their shingles, so to speak, that they know God better than you do. I hate to tell you this. I went to a Bible college, and there were good people there, don't get me wrong, but they were in a system that was in a ditch. And the results were not great because of that. And for many, for most, almost all, they were very far off. But they had plans for their futures and their profits in God. And it was really a mixed bag of what I witnessed. But anyway, the constant continual fruit that Jesus is referring to in John 15:4-5, in the verse above, is not worldly fruit like church buildings, tithes, attendance numbers, and the like would be focused on in a Bible college. Because that's the ultimate goal, is to get numbers and bring in money. It is spiritual fruit that we are concerned about. We should be concerned about. The fruits of the Spirit: love, compassion, patience, generosity, forgiveness, etc. We believers are almost exclusively, primarily concerned with our internal spiritual works, not the external works that I just mentioned, that the worldly church is concerned about. We believers are to be almost exclusively, primarily concerned with our internal spiritual works. We thus gain control of our minds and our beings, and we experience great joy in this, and health. First emotional, spiritual, but then even possibly too physical health as well, because we're centered. We are not preoccupied or sidetracked by worldly works or accountings, even of any seemingly good kind. It is a matter of our behavior in the world must be the result of the Spirit, the result of the Spirit's work in us. It's the Spirit out, not the world in, to our beings and each believer. It must not be any manner of worldly thought predicated on worldly reasoning that determines our behavior in each situation, even believer to believer. The Spirit is our glorious new thought filter, our new paradigm. In this way, we can be confident that we are hearing from God, acting in God, because His spirits protect us on all sides in all of our behaviors. And we grow exponentially in our understanding of His Spirit's balance within us, its mix within us. One aspect of His Spirit tempers our judgments against other aspects of His Spirit. It's not a matter of single-factor conclusions or single-factor accusations. In this spiritual balancing act, we are protected from religious extremes and extremists. Thus, Satan's earthly spirits are completely outside of our boundaries, and spiritual interpretation of the Bible are brought under control and the extremes that happen therein. For example, we politely but firmly disagree versus hating others over matters of facts, concepts that are far less important than the act of allowing hate or anger into our temple, Jesus' temple. We don't want to do that. The sanctity of our temple is the most important thing, even when someone else is wrong. We kick out the worldly money changers out of our own temple, just like Jesus did, as a foreshadowing example to us. See Matthew 21:12. Let us end here for now. Please consider how important John 15:4-5 are. As Jesus said, without me, you can do nothing. He is talking about a concrete act or set of actions. The act of abiding in him. The act of dwelling constantly in his spirit, his well-defined spirit, his accessible spirit. Please consider this carefully. Do not pass go until you have firmly committed exclusively to his spirits rather than worldly spirits or worldly conclusions. We are simply either in or out of him. Lip service needs to take a real hike. In this next section, we will discuss how we seek to be honest and pure versus being judgmental or hateful. We don't win by other people losing. May the Lord bless you and keep you until we come together again in the Spirit once more. God bless and thank you.